Hello, and welcome to the Drive Home Podcast, the podcast where I am the only one who needs to wear a seatbelt. And again, I will restate this for my own obsessive reasons, but this is the podcast where I drive home and I talk for 15 to 25 minutes usually. That's roughly how long it takes for me to drive home. And you all can listen to me talk, or you can not. It's whatever. I just started this because I thought it would be fun to have something to do besides just drive home listening to music. And it's nice listening to music and like being alone with my thoughts, but I thought it would be much easier if I weren't alone with my thoughts ever again. So they can get scary sometimes, I think. Though then again, I have a lot of intrusive thoughts that are just really dumb stuff anyway, so. I got out of work. I got out of work at 9 tonight. It was an okay day. I didn't do too much different than I would normally. It's just the hour. I don't know why. The store always closes at the same time every day. But they just decided it would be easier to have me be there until the store closes, I guess, which is fine. But it's a little annoying because they want me back at like 11:30 tomorrow. And I'm closing then, so that'll be 11:30 to 8. Which isn't super fun, honestly. It was a fine day. Nothing really big in terms of good or bad happened, so it's all good. Well, now I've lost my train of thought, so I'm just gonna go over some stuff, I guess. So in the long run, I don't know if this podcast will last, but I think I'm gonna. I mean, I don't see why it can't, honestly. As long as I can talk after work. And, well, I guess as long as, I don't know. I haven't told my friends about this. I've told one person about this. And I told my brother that I started a podcast, kind of. But I didn't really explain it. I told my one friend because he's not part of the other friend group, so he wouldn't have a reason to, and he actually listens to podcasts. He originally got me into podcasts because originally I didn't care about podcasts too much, and then he told me about this podcast called Distractable, which for anyone who knows is a really funny podcast done by Markiplier and his two friends, Bob and Wade. And it's really funny to listen to, honestly. And their episodes are like an hour long or so. And at this point they're doing 2 episodes weekly, which 2 hours a week, like I guess like talking to your friends is one thing, but then they make like a little game out of it. But I don't want to just like get into like I don't want to go fanboy mode over it, I guess, because I think I've done enough of that for a while. Tonight, since I got out at 9, I'm not doing anything with friends, and also because I have work before 12 tomorrow. Just like, I think it's 14 hours, isn't it? I have 14 hours, technically. Well, 14 and a half to go home. And at least an hour of that is, well, roughly an hour to 40 minutes. 40 minutes to an hour is me going home and going to work the next day. I don't know. it doesn't bother me too much, but I'm not a morning person, and I probably have stated that in one way or another. I know I talked about how I couldn't, or well, how I struggle with falling asleep at night and waking up in the morning. But the struggle is, for lack of better terms, real. The struggle is very real for me. I think the only time I can sleep naturally is if I had been swimming earlier in the day for an extended amount of time. But I live in New England, and for those of you who don't know, I don't live near the ocean, which is fairly obvious, I guess, at this point. So to swim, it has to be warm enough, and you know, like the ocean up here is like probably freezing cold anyway, but it's not summer yet, and the only place, so there's a private pool that it used to be like public, but you had to pay to get in, sort of like a time slot kind of dealy, I think, when I was younger. And they had a hot tub and a pool. They were both indoors. And I went there with my dad and my brother a couple of times when we were younger. And I always found that that was always really fun, I think, because it was usually in winter. So, and me and my brother never really did the hot tub thing. But I think now I can do it a little bit. I don't know. I just being hot irritates the crap out of me. Like, cooking is not something that I would directly shy away from, but if there's steam like coming out of like a boiling pot or whatever, if I'm like really close to that, I hate it, honestly. Like I feel like I start sweating if if I take one, like, and it's not like I'm out of shape. I'm not in shape because I don't really work out, but I don't eat horribly, and I don't like do nothing. I go to work, and my work requires me to walk around all day and lift stuff and move stuff, and some of it's heavy, some of it's not so heavy. So all in all, it's not super like, you know, it's not stressing me out, but it's not, I'm not doing nothing all the time. I've been trying to, I guess, get out more, do more active stuff overall, which is for me is hard, because if I'm going to work, I can't really do anything active, because if I'm going to do something active, I'm going to push myself to like do exercise, and then I'll get all sore afterwards. Like, it doesn't even have to be like a super hard exercise, just like, unless I'm gonna go to sleep or, you know, go to bed, which is not going, it's hard to explain, but most of what I do is just me laying on my bed doing stuff there when I'm not like at work or hanging out with friends or anything. And you know, if I'm playing games with friends, that like I have my own consoles and junk, so it's all in my room. And so everything I do is, and I don't have a huge room. I don't have a lot of space in my room, and I have a decent amount of books. I mean, I have a bookcase full of them, so, and it's a little overflowing at the moment. Right now, I have 2 bookcases. I have one that has movies and video games, and on the very bottom shelf, it has a bunch of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Because I really like the idea of like doing a duel in real life. I think Yu-Gi-Oh is one of those cool. Well, it's one of the more interesting. Like, in Yu-Gi-Oh, all you really need is a basic understanding of the rules and a deck, really. And, you know, if your opponent agrees to it, you can use whatever deck, like, fits. Like, because, you know, if it's... Because there's tournament rules and stuff, and there's, like, a limit to certain cards that you can have. Like, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the general ruling is a copy of a card can only go to a maximum of 3. And then certain cards you can only have 2 or 1 of, and then certain cards in tournaments and stuff are just straight up banned. And if me and my friend have a duel in real life, which we do fairly often, well, I say fairly often, we used to do it every once in a while, but we haven't done it recently because he had to move a while ago. And so all of his stuff is still, like, I think he moved just about a month ago. I helped him with it, so, but the long and the short of it is that they're still getting used to their setup and stuff. So, and they don't have a lot of, I guess, dual space, I guess. Actually, we both got some dual discs replicas, I guess, and those are really cool. Mine doesn't fold out correctly or stay unfolded, I guess. And also, they're very, like, heavy to just have on your arm for an extended amount of time. Like, if you're going to, like, hold them in the correct position that you would for a duel the whole time, that's crazy. Like, that's a lot. I like the more, speaking of dual discs, just like, I guess this will be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode, because I can't really think of anything, and I don't want to say nothing. I'll try and come up with more interesting stuff, honestly. I need to do that. I usually just go into these relatively blind, or with a vague idea, but tonight I just completely forgot to do any of that, and just was like, well, it'll be fine. It doesn't matter. I can wing it and it'll be fine. And it's okay now because I found something to sort of focus on, but wait, did I even finish my original train of thought? Crap. Long story short, I have 2 bookcases. One has a crap ton of books, and the other one has video games, movies, and cards. I have a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I need a 3rd bookshelf just so I can put my cards there and have more space for... I'm thinking I'm gonna get another shelf, and the plan is to basically have my cards and probably a bunch of the figures and stuff that I have go on there. And they're just really basic bookshelves. They're like 6 feet tall. I think they have like 5 shelves if you include like the bottom one, I guess. And I guess you don't include the one at the very top. That's like literally just the top of the bookcase. Then there's like 5, and 3 of them are changeable, I think. Like, I know what it, like, you can alter their location slightly. Like, you get little pins and you can move the pins, and so there's like, you probably get like 3 inches of space to just adjust them, I think. There's like 5 pin sets, and they do that for like 3 of the shelves, so that's pretty cool. And then one of the shelves is set. Long story short, I need another shelf because I need one for my cards. Because I also, I don't do it so much anymore because learning how to play the Pokemon card game isn't really something I care about. Like, it seems really complicated. I'd like to learn to play it, but I think if I'm gonna do something with Pokemon battling and stuff, it's just gonna be like in like the mainline games online or whatever. That's easier, and there's like no cleanup involved. But yeah, no, long story short, I have a decent amount of Pokemon cards and a crap ton of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Like, so many. And the collection is not going down because I don't really throw away any cards. I still have the first... It was really funny. Before I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! In elementary school, somebody wanted to duel anyone, and I was like, I don't know, sure. I don't even think I remember. I wasn't super acquainted with the person. I think he might have been friends with my brother. I don't know. He gave me like... Because it was like a duel during recess, and you weren't supposed to have cards at recess. So... So he gave me like 5 cards or something. It was Red Eyes. I remember a couple of them. There was Red Eyes B Chick, and then there was like a Synchro Monster that was I want to say like Colossal Fist or Colossal Giant or something. I don't know. Colossal Warrior, maybe? I don't know. I think it's Colossal. It was non-archetypal. And like a handful of other cards, and then he had like his actual deck, I think. Basically, he gave me a bunch of crap that I couldn't really use because I had to play by the actual rules, which I didn't even know at the time. I think because I had seen a little bit of the anime, like the first anime when I was younger, and I had seen Zexal a little bit too, because it was airing. But though I don't know if I saw Zexal before or after that. But he let me keep those cards, so I have those guys, and they were like in not great condition and stuff. But they mean a lot to me because like they're like the first cards I got. Like even if I didn't know any better, those were like my first cards. And so, funnily enough, I am not a big synchro person, but I do have a Red Eyes deck now. I don't know, the idea of the gimmick of like none of the cards really work all that well together necessarily is really interesting. And then Gemini is always weird. But I really like the Red Eyes monsters. Like it's always like it's like it really is a 4th-rate deck, honestly. And also, is that like a compliment from Kaiba? Because so in the anime, at least the English version, I'm fairly certain he does insult him in the exact same way in like the Japanese, the original. But he calls Joe, as at one point it's become like a meme, so it's just like out there on the internet. It's really easy to find. But he's like, I think he's like, Wheeler, you are 4th. Oh wait, no, is it 4th-rate duels with a 3rd-rate deck? That always stumps me because I can hear it both ways, which don't make sense. Wheeler, you're a 3rd-rate duelist with a 4th-rate deck. So I did that 3 and 4. Wheeler, you're a 4th-rate duelist with a 3rd-rate deck. I think it's 3rd-rate duelist, 4th-rate deck, which I kind of get it, but there's something lovable about the Red Eyes deck to me. And so I don't know. I've been watching through that, so my plan is to watch through all of the animes, the Yu-Gi-Oh animes at some point, because I watched through most of Zexal, though it was only vaguely chronologically because the episodes were actually airing when I started watching them. And then I saw like small snippets of so it was, I believe I saw Joey's duel with the battle armor guy, in I forget what it was called, but the main bad guy was called Darts, which is funny. And then I did see like the ending of what was it? The ending of like the Battle City and all that junk. I feel like I saw something else too. I feel like I remember it looked. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe I was. But I saw like a lot of snippets of like the OG Yu-Gi-Oh anime when I was a lot younger, and I don't know. I think it was the only reason I really watched them was because Sonic X came on either before or after, and then those shows interested me too at that point. It was like, oh, cool. They're like dueling with cards. Like, I don't know. I didn't even know. I don't even remember what I thought at the time. It was just something that was on and it was entertaining to me. So I watched it. Then my brother would come along and be like, I don't wanna. And he'd just get advantage at something. And then just, to use D&D terms, he would always have advantage over me in like all types of checks for whatever reason in the viewpoint of my mother. And so usually he got to pick what we got to watch. And he liked Sonic X, which was good because I like Sonic X. But a lot of the time it was his choice, which annoyed the crap out of me. Long story short, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! I like Pokemon. I like a lot of stuff, honestly. Like a lot of I don't know what they're doing with Bakugan right now. I was really hyped when I heard Bakugan was coming back out. But it seems so weird now. Like the things are hexagonal and they're not using the gate cards anymore. And it just seems so weird. Cause like it seems like you want, like I don't even, but like all like most of the things are like I got a couple of the newer Bakugan and I think they're slightly larger than the original. Well, I don't want to say original, but the previous generation of Bakugan. But like, why'd they change it? Like, sure, the Mecha Dragonoid, whatever he was called, Maxis, I think, or something. Sure, like that guy and his extra pieces were like a bit much and stuff, because like really the only one you could roll was like the arms. And it looked cool because I think we had a Maxis Dragonoid when we were younger. I think Jackson, my brother, got it, but I don't remember. I think it was his, but I don't know why. I don't even think he was super into Bakugan. I think he just wanted it because I wanted it, or he got it because I wanted it, and my parents are confusing. I don't know. But like Bakugan and Beyblade, like what are they doing now? Because I know like they had that. So I know Beyblade had that weird Bay Wheels thing, and they went back to like normal Beyblade. But I think they're doing something weird now, though I don't know for sure. I know Bakugan's doing something weird where they add like the Bakugan are cut in half now, and you can put something in the middle that like makes them like wider for some reason. And I don't even understand what's going on. Are they turning Bakugan into Beyblade? I don't know. Really wish I had more time with those toys and stuff. They were so fun. And I found some of my my metal Beyblades and like the stadium that I got to go with it a while ago. And I wish I found like I think overall my favorite one to duel with, or well, I don't know if what is it called? It's just a Beyblade battle, right? I think my favorite one to let it rip was I think it was either Pegasus because that was the protagonist's Beyblade at the time, or it was I think Ray Striker because that guy showed up in like the following season because there was But his Beyblade was cool because I got it. But I got a couple of them. They're in terrible condition, but I have them, and me and the same friend with all the other anime stuff. So the guy who dueled me, the guy who recommends me anime um and all that junk. So we were just like going through like Walmart or whatever, and we saw like some of the Beyblades, and we were like, "Ooh, may as well," because Beyblade was always really fun. Like it was like such a cool idea, and then I guess the metal set people's houses on fire or something. I don't know. I don't know. Like years after, like I stopped seeing Beyblades in stores, I just heard that's what happened, and so there was like a lawsuit, and they had to change it. So they just kind of ended it or something. And I can't believe that, honestly. That just sounds so stupid. Like what did they do? Did they put like firecrackers or something on the edges to give them like extra speed or something? I'm just bewildered by like the thought that a Beyblade hitting another metal object could legitimately cause enough sparks to cause a fire. Like sparks, sure, maybe kinda, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem correct. And it's also impossible to find them online because I guess nobody I guess because they're not made anymore. At least not like the ones that like the Metal Fury and Metal Fusion and stuff. And I guess there was also, I don't know if these were part of it because they're kind of different, but there was like an iteration of Beyblade where like they had like the metal ring had to like a so you could either attach a second metal ring underneath, or you could attach like a plastic piece underneath, and that was like interchangeable with stuff, which was really interesting. And you could also flip it too, which is weird. I think that was technically part of it, but I really need to rewatch Metal Fury and stuff. Those are really good shows, honestly, and battle brawlers. I actually had a Bakugan video game for the Wii that I really loved, and I still have it to this day. And recently I got a second one that a different Bakugan game for the Wii, and it's kind of fun. The first one is more actual Bakugan gameplay, and I love it. I don't know if there was a previous Bakugan or a previous Bakugan game that did this, but this one has the protagonist, which is you, as a custom character, and you get Leonidas as an element of your choice, Beyblade or Bakugan. Jeez, and mine was just stuck on Beyblade for a second there. You get Leonidas as a Bakugan, and I think he's super important, but I didn't really watch enough of the Bakugan show because it was like already like mostly done. I just saw like a couple snippets, and it was really interesting to watch for me. And I really liked it. Now I was really into Bakugan after I saw that. But I did see a lot of the metal. I think I saw pretty much every episode of Beyblade Metal Fury. And then I saw a lot of I think it was Metal Fusion, because that came right after basically. But there were some bits of Metal Fusion, I think, that I would have missed out on. The only thing I really remember about any of it was, long story short, Pegasus had to fight Drago Bay because Drago spins the opposite way and Pegasus spins the correct way, but Pegasus is fated to fight the Dragon one because of some reason. And then something about, certain Beyblades have meteorite shards stuck in them, and that makes them special. And then something about the 12 Zodiac Beyblades or something. I don't know. That's all I really remember about the story. And then for some reason I think there was something involving God Beyblades, because there was One of the last actual Beyblade episodes I remember watching, there was this Beyblade that had like the time symbol on it. And they made like a weird version of that in real life where it wasn't separatable, but if certain notches on it were hit, it would actually stick out some side things. But it was a terrible Beyblade. It was just so terrible. I would rather have a normal Beyblade that just like didn't have a weird gimmick that caused it to not even be like interchangeable parts or anything. Long story short, it had, I don't know, it had like clock hands on it or something. It looked really cool. It's like one of the coolest looking Beyblades I've ever seen, honestly. I know there were Beyblades before that, I think. Because people tend to talk about that online. But I think the Metal series was my favorite. Anyway, I've been rambling on now for a while, so I think I'll end it here. I've been home for a little bit too. So I'll have to thank you all for listening to the Drive Home podcast. And I will see you all the next time I go home. Also, have a great next 24 hours. Bye.